What's going on, fellow gamblers? Welcome back to Straight Betting. Today is Friday, November 28th, day after Thanksgiving. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving, by the way. I did. Football was fun, all that good stuff, but I'm ready to get back to some NBA stuff. So in today's video, guys, I will be sharing 4 NBA picks, and I'll also be sharing a little NFL prop at the end if you guys are interested in that. And of course, guys, every time this must be cursed, but I am doing this giveaway, right? All you have to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below what your favorite play of the day is. And if we have a winning day, like I said, this thing is insanely cursed. But if we do have a winning day, then I will give out 25 bucks to someone who does indeed do all 3 of those things. That being said, let's recap the last couple days of NBA. Okay, guys, so I'd be lying if I said like I really watched any of these. I've been driving to Minnesota recently from North Carolina, just ridiculously long shit. But Luka under 8.5 assists, he smashed over that line, went crazy. Chris Dunn over 8.5 PA. He also like very sweat free won that. Justin Edwards over 2.5 rebounds, guys. That was kind of out there. I really liked it though, but no, he did that. That was a weird game. Did not come to fruition. Then Asar Thompson over 11.5 points. Didn't really watch much of that. Saw that he shot like 2 for 8, had 8 points. So I don't know if it was like the worst read ever, but I don't think it was the best either. And then Rudy Gobert under 19.5 points and rebounds. Honestly, just wish I went straight points under there, but at the end of the day, it won. And yeah, we'll take it. All right, guys. First official play. Let's go to the Charlotte versus Chicago game. Not gonna lie, guys. I think that this game is just going to be an absolute like shootout. It's gonna be amazing for props. So I do have 2 picks from here, actually pretty correlated with each other too. But first one I'm gonna go with is going to be LaMelo Ball over 7.5 assists. You can see there's minus 118 as of recording. And guys, I'm not gonna like overthink this one, man. So he is averaging 8.8 assists. He is over this line in 9 out of 11 games. He's doing this 8.8 assists. He's doing it on 30.4 minutes per game. And obviously, guys, you know, when he came back from that ankle, he played 27, 28, 27, 25, lost by 15, and then 27, lost by 28. So look, man, he's, you know, I'm guessing he's going to play like 28 minutes here, but there's also that chance, man. I mean, he has played he has played a lot of games in a row now. You know, and LaMelo is obviously not a 28-minute game guy when he's off a restriction. So who knows? They're probably going to lift that restriction at some point. But look, guys, I mean, as you can see here, I talk about this all the time on funnels, on things similarly. The Bulls are like terrible at defending the restricted area, right? They allow the most points there, the most assists there. LaMelo gets 38% of his assists in the restricted area at the rim, which is pretty high. It's not like the highest mark in the league, but it's definitely above average. So yeah, also guys, like I said, there's a 248.5 point total. The Bulls, they are allowing the 6th most assists per game over the last 10 games. They're also allowing a lot of catch and shoot stuff, like the 4th most catch and shoot field goals made over the last 10 games. Guys, obviously a catch and shoot field goal has to be assisted. And yeah, just like a ton of easy stuff at the rim, man. So look, I'm really not trying to like overthink this one. I think that this game is going to be an absolute shootout. It should be a competitive game too, right? I mean, we got a 2.5 point spread. I'd say the Bulls are a better team, but the game's also in Charlotte, which helps. So yeah, just a ton of assist targets around them too, right, guys? Like Miles Bridges, Brandon Miller, Kalkbrenner. You got Kalkbrenner and Diabate at the rim as well. So yeah, guys, I'm not trying to overthink this one. You know, I think that this line probably should be at like 8.5 in a neutral matchup, right? And obviously this is a very plus matchup. So I'd have this line 8.5 juiced over. We're getting a 7.5. I think that this is a pretty damn good look. All right, guys. And like I said, this is kind of in correlation with LaMelo, but I'm going with Ryan Kalkbrenner over 15.5 PR. And man, I just hope this game starts off with like 3 straight LaMelo to Kalkbrenner in the paint dunks. That would be perfect. But look, so Kalkbrenner over 15.5 PR. Obviously, guys, we go down here. Bulls are brutal in the restricted area. They're giving up like the most field goals in the restricted area by a wide margin, guys. Like, especially if you go to like the last 10 games, they're giving up like 2 more than the next closest person. It's kind of ridiculous. But I mean, like literally, this is a perfect matchup, right? I mean, most points in the restricted area, guys. We look at Kalkbrenner. I mean, dude, that's literally 91% of his points. That's all what he's doing. This is very ideal. We look at his play types. Cut. Obviously, guys, that's cut to the basket, right? That's perfect for him. Putbacks. Bulls are allowing the 3rd most points per game to putbacks. Pick and roll man, 2nd most points. That's 21% of his points. And then like free throws and transition, I guess, man. But I mean, guys, this is honestly just such a damn good matchup. Like this is like very ideal. Bulls also over the last 10 games, guys, they are allowing the most rebounds over the last 10 games. So obviously that's very good. you just can't like ask for a better matchup here from Kalkbrenner. And if we take out an injury game, right, this Clippers game, he played 11 minutes. Let's just take that out. His role doesn't really change much like with anyone else in. He's not going to get usage. He's just going to, sit in the dunker spot and, clean up misses, be there for lobs, get the occasional pass when they overcommit to him. So, I mean, look, dude, he's averaging 16.9 PR on the season. He's over in 60% of games. You could do like with LaMelo. Like I said, it's not going to like change much at all. Still averaging 17 PR over in 6 out of 9 games. I mean, guys, like, I don't really know what else to say. Like, this is the best matchup in the league. And, you could make an argument, right, that this line should maybe be like 16.5 in a neutral matchup. And now you're getting like the best matchup in the league, dude. I'd probably have this line at like 17.5, maybe even 18.5. I think that this is a pretty bad line. Not going to lie. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So going with Ryan Kalkbrenner over 15.5 points and rebounds. And guys, I am real quick going to shout out Props Madness, guys. I mean, if you guys are into originating your own props, if you guys like to do your own research, you're not going to find a better tool. Like genuinely, I can look you in the eyes and say that. So make sure to check out Props Madness, guys. It makes this whole research process super easy. Obviously, I show it off every single video. Use code SB25 if you want 25% off your first month, or first purchase if you want to commit for a little bit longer than a month. All right, next official play, guys. I am going to go with John Collins of the Los Angeles Clippers. I'm taking him to go over 1.5 threes. And you guys, this is like plus 174. I think this is like a very good price. I'd probably play this out to like minus 150, plus 150, or like plus 140-ish, I guess. There's a couple like plus 160s out there. But yeah, guys, this hit rate is going to look absolutely brutal. And to be honest, this is like not a hit rate bet like whatsoever. It really isn't. So look, if you go down and look at John Collins, this is a player matchup one. If we look at his like shooting zones, right? 9% in the left corner, 15% in the right corner. Only 5% of his points are above the break. So John Collins, all he really does is sit in the corner and he'll like cut to the basket and things to that extent, obviously. And, he likes to play inside the paint, but with Ivica Zubac starting alongside Ivica Zubac, right? That's obviously a little bit harder to play in the paint. So look, he's going to get guarded by Jaren Jackson. I feel very strong about that, right? Like Jaren's, you're not going to put him on Kawhi. I don't think you're going to put him on Chris Dunn either, even though you could maybe make a case for that, but I don't think you're going to do that. So Jaren guards someone in the corner so he can, lurk weak side and help, right? And especially if they are a dicey shooter, he leaves them pretty wide open, right? Because he's playing help defense. He's going for blocks. He's a roamer on defense. So look, the corners are left pretty wide open in the Jaren minutes, and especially for the person who's matched up with Jaren. Obviously, like it's like a similar height between the two as well. So yeah, look, like I said, the hit rates don't look good, man, but he just sits in the corners. Like we can look at some recent guys, right? So some recent guys who were guarded by Jaren. Peyton Watson just got up 12 threes. The game before that, Harrison Barnes had 8 threes. Game before that, Evan Mobley had 6 threes. So look, guys, this is like an I know ball play. I'm really putting my ball knowledge to test. Like I said, the hit rate is not pretty. I mean, obviously, guys, we all know John Collins he's capable of hitting 2 threes, though, right? Like this isn't like a crazy like ask or anything. So yeah, like I said, this is completely like an I know ball play, but I feel very good about Jaren Jackson guarding him, and I also feel very good about Jaren helping off him pretty aggressively, given that he's not exactly. I mean, Jaren's going to help pretty aggressively regardless who the player is, but especially someone like John Collins, who like you're fine with shooting threes. Yeah, I think he's going to get a ton of open corner threes, and yeah, I think he gets up like 4 or 5, man. That's what I'm looking for. If we get 4 or 5 attempts at a plus 174, like you just got to live with it. All right, next up, guys, we're going to the rivalry game, right? We got Lakers and Mavs in LA, and I'm going over to Anthony Davis, and I'm going to take him over 2.5 assists. So look, this is obviously is not going to look crazy or anything. If we just go to like with Dallas and we take out this like Pacers game, right, where he got hurt, I mean, he's over 9 out of 15 games. He's averaging 3.6 assists on 32 minutes. Now, guys, I do not think he is going to play 32 minutes. I do have him at 28. I also don't think he's going to play like terrible minutes though either. So per 28 minutes with the Mavs, he is at 3.15 assists. And guys, this is like a schematic play, right? If you go back and do with Dallas and you go to head-to-head, they played the Lakers once. The potential assists aren't going to pop, guys, but like if you go back and watch the assists, like they weren't exactly like catch and shoots. They were like, they double AD and then they drive to the basket and like they're not going to register as potential. So he did have 6 assists in this game in 33 minutes. And guys, basically why this is the Lakers. You look at their lineup, right? It's Luca, Reeves, LeBron, Rui, and DeAndre Ayton, right? They don't have anyone to guard Anthony Davis one on one. So, and what Redick likes to do anyways against players who he doesn't have a matchup for, which is a lot of people, right? Because they don't have crazy good personnel defensively. He is like very, very aggressive with doubles. So that's what they were doing to AD. It worked, right? It worked. They lost the game by 15. The Mavs did, meaning that the Lakers won the game. They played good defense. And I think the same thing's going to happen. So obviously, guys, AD is probably going to get a ton of post touches, right? He's going to want the ball. He's going to, he's their best offensive player by far, especially with Kyrie still out, of course. But yeah, he's going to get a lot of post touches, and I expect him to like double very aggressively. And now you guys may ask, like, so why are you going over assists rather than over under points? And I do agree, right? He only had 13 points. He shot 5 for 13. That's like a really bad game for Davis, obviously, in 33 minutes, right? So here's the thing, guys. The game is back in LA. Like, this is Davis's he didn't play in LA last year, right? So this is like a very important game for him, obviously. And that's why I think, like, at the end of the day, man, this is a really low line for AD. Like, if you go to like what he's been doing this year before this, yeah, it's like 22, 27, 25, 27 on OKC, right? Like, that's a very, very tough matchup for him. So Davis has kind of been crushing this line in the games that he didn't get hurt in. And like I said, man, I think they've been very, very cautious with him, especially ever since Nico got fired, right? If you guys remember, like, I don't think Nico may have gotten fired like 2 weeks ago. He was pretty close to returning, but also at the same time, Nico was kind of like rushing him back. Like, obviously, guys, the Mavs, once they fired Nico, they don't really like, they're focused on the future, right? So they weren't going to rush him back like they were if Nico was still there. So I do think he's pretty healthy. And I also do think that, like, he personally really, really wants to play in this game, right? I mean, won a chip here. This is probably like the most like controversial trade of all time, like genuinely, at least from what I can remember. Maybe I'm too young to remember some crazy shit, but yeah, I think he'll want to play in this one, man. So like I said, I do have him at 28 minutes, and I do lean under on the points, but I'm going with over assists here, man. They're gonna throw a lot of doubles at him, and yeah, should be able to hit like PJ one pass away, Christie one pass away, Najee, Clay, whoever's one pass away is gonna get some pretty good looks from Anthony Davis. So yeah, over 2.5 assists. Also, guys, big fan of over 11.5. Oh, looks like that move. If you can grab an 11.5 rebounds and assists, I think that's a pretty good look too. Like I said, I want to be a little bit higher on his minutes than the market is. Okay, guys, and like I promised, guys, we got an official NFL play too. So for this one, it's a little two-legger. I'm kind of a big fan of it. I'm going with Cole Kmet. Let's take him under 1.5 receptions, and then we're gonna go with Rome Odunze to get 25 or more receiving yards. So guys, this is actually like very correlated. Obviously, we're looking at Kmet's chart here. If you go to games with Colston Loveland, he's under in 7 out of 9 games. He's had like a reception every single game, but yeah, still at the end of the day, he's under in 7 out of 9 games. And honestly, guys, like this minus 136 at FanDuel, I do like that. I don't even think you have to like do the juice reducer or the correlated parlay or anything. So I think that's a pretty good look too. But yeah, under in 7 out of 9 games. And guys, like Colston Loveland is like very clearly like the way ahead of Cole Kmet in terms of like pecking order in the passing game at this point too. Like you go to like the early in the year, it was honestly like Cole Kmet was like the one over Loveland until like later in the year. So yeah, Cole Kmet under 1.5 receptions, look under in 7 out of 9. You get the matchup with Philly. Philly allows the 5th fewest receptions to tight ends. They play the 2nd most man coverage in the NFL per FTN. And guys, Cole Kmet, he has 5 targets on 53 routes against man coverage this year. And then guys, so like, yeah, 5 targets, 53 routes, not great, obviously. Then you got Rome Odunze, who is the guy who we need to get 25 yards, obviously. He has a 29.3% target share against man coverage, which like leads the Bears by a very wide margin. Like the next closest person versus man is going to be DJ Moore, who is at like 18%. So Rome is like clearly Caleb Williams' guy when he sees man coverage, and he's going to be seeing a lot of that against Philly. So yeah, and then another thing, look, I do expect Philly to win this game. Like so, like I know you see like negative game script, oh that's bad for Kmet's under. I actually disagree. I think that like if it's a negative game script, they're not going to play a lot of 2 tight end. and the one tight end is going to be the pass catcher, which is going to be Colson Loveland. So look, even if it's a negative game script, I do think that like that could actually help us out, right? Because then they just go to 3 wide receivers and play Colson Loveland at tight end, and Cole Kmet doesn't even touch the field. So yeah, big fan on this Cole Kmet under, and then obviously getting some plus 109 with adding that Rome leg too, and I think it correlates very well too. So yeah, all right, guys. As always, I do appreciate everyone tuning in. Best of luck on your bets today, and hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving as well.